we kind of framed the discussion as no regrets, right?
Right. Actually having no regrets.
Right. And that's how I've always thought about the best way to be is to have no regrets,
Yeah.
Don't worry about what you did. And if you did have regrets, I always saw that as a negative thing.
Like you shouldn't. It's
Like you
almost
shouldn't.
like you shouldn't have regrets. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think that's always the case, though.
When you really dive in deep to it, you kind of see there's more substance there than maybe you first thought.
For sure.
So, when you think about having no regrets, you're like, well, everything up until this point, right? Like, God blessed me, or however you see it, like I'm blessed to be where I am no matter what. So, of course, you don't want to take away from that journey where it got you there. Exactly. But at the same time, you can look at regret as like a learning opportunity.
Exactly, yeah. It helps you in your future endeavors, whatever it is you're doing, recognize maybe a past pattern that was leading you down a bad road.
Right.
And you can have a corrective action and change it and do something differently this time,
Yeah.
Kind of refocuses you. It gets you more motivated.
Yeah.
And to actually do it right this time,
Yeah. But I wonder what it is about different people that, because we all don't react in the same way.
Yeah.
So, like for me, I might get a little bit more emotional when I regret things, and it might take me a little bit longer to move on from that.
Yeah.
And be happy about learning whatever that topic was, and then like now moving into, okay, how am I going to fix things so that I learned from that experience?
Yeah.
Eventually get there, but I still feel like sometimes it's more of a process for me.
I think for me too, and I totally understand where you're coming from there. Yeah. And for me, it's a little different because I think it's an emotional response too, but it's one that's kind of makes you upset actually, and a little angry, about, regret. It's all about blaming yourself for everything that happened and what you could have done better. But really, when you think about it, not everything that you were doing at that time in the past, whatever it may have been, was under your own control.
Yeah.
There was external factors there influencing whether or not, you can make a certain decision or not. Sometimes you don't have all the time in the world to make a decision, and you have to do it right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Or sometimes if other people are involved, you're afraid to hurt people's feelings or be taken the wrong way. Like for example, let's say you're in a relationship, whether it's like friends or significant other, sibling, whatever, and maybe that relationship is just like bunting heads and stuff.
Exactly.
And apologies between people, it's like you can talk in circles.
Yeah.
And sometimes people are searching for some kind of answer that's not there.
Yeah.
And I think like relationships could start to break when those kinds of things happen.
For sure.
And I think when there's no understanding and like that's not the goal for both people, that circle keeps going and like, well, you need to apologize. No, you need to apologize. No, you need to apologize. And then until somebody's a bigger person to say like, right, I own that, but like let's move forward. It's like sometimes one person doesn't want to actually own up to what they're doing.
Yeah. You got to be accountable for what you did in the past that caused that.
Right. But I also feel that like I can't be responsible for anybody else.
No, definitely
and
not.
they can't be responsible for me.
Yeah,
like it would be a perfect world if everybody could take responsibility for themselves. But it doesn't happen that way. So when relationships start to break like that, it's really up to you to like figure out, well, what do you have to do to heal yourself and like grow in that moment? And unfortunately, sometimes that means separating from those people.
That's true. Yeah.
And that's unpleasant. So then the first thing that you think is like, well, how can I tear up these relationships that I've known or I've been in for a long period of time?
Yeah.
That can be hurtful. That can make you seem like you're selfish. But at the end of the day, like you also have a responsibility to yourself to be in the right mind and surround yourself with the right people who are going to be open to like understanding you. Because if you're constantly fighting that, I think that it's a waste of energy, a waste of time, and like a waste of love, really, because That should be what you want at the end of the day, is to love each other. And if the other party is not willing to understand you and level with you, you kind of just like, okay, well, I need to move on. And you learn from that relationship. And then, next time I get into these types of relationships, these are the types of things that I'm looking for.
Yeah. Because not everyone's going to grow and evolve in the exact same way that you are in life.
Yeah, true.
Everyone has their own journeys and experiences.